as a defensive lineman yourself, what are ways of Coach Belichick improve your skill set?
I would say, linebackers and D-line have to be on the same page with that chemistry. For Chaos to say that, that's great for the D-lineman, but D-linemen also have to have a great communication with the linebackers going back. So that they work back and forth, and it just keep going back to the DBs. So it was great that Chaos said that. And we just got to keep building that to day by day and staying with that communication communication was key and will forever be key during that chemistry build and just continue to do what we do every day and day by day.
Jeremiah Howard, Inside Carolina. We were just talking to Bill and Steve. They're talking about how everything starts, up front, offensive line, defensive line, things like that. How much have they been honing that in for you guys? I know it's obviously something you've learned in football overall, but how much have they been honing that in for you guys, especially with the heightened emphasis on physicality this year?
Yeah, most definitely it does start up front, then it moves back. But, every day it's a day-by-day between offense and defense, O-line, D-line, wide receivers and everything. And that competition level has been built, and it will forever to get greater. And just the communication between both sides is very key. And just continue to compete versus the offense. Every practice is going to be a hard practice, make the game easier. And just the competition level is high, and you got to stay at that level. You can't go down. You got to keep going higher and higher.
Andrew Jones, Target 24/7. You're not an old head, but you're like an old guy in the room in the sense that you were here last week, you and Peter. You're the only one that played any snaps. What's it been like seeing such an influx of new guys come in and a lot of talented guys from a bunch of different places? And how have you maybe taken a role in kind of showing guys the ropes of what things are like and sort of getting everybody on the same page, maybe socially and interactively?
Yeah, with there being almost 70 guys, that it can be hard. But it was a great transition between everybody coming in and everybody just taking it in. With this new coaching staff, everybody is just ready to learn, everybody just ready to compete and just take it day by day and get better every day. And, just when all those guys come in, the most important thing is not just learning them on the field, but learning them off the field, building that connection off the field, learning their personal goals and what they like to do outside of football to really build that connection between all those guys who coming in and mixing and building a great chemistry to be able to do good on September 1st, ready for the first game.
Your follow defensive line, so many new faces there. I'm going to give you a couple of names. Give me really quickly maybe what pops about Bryce Yates, about Melcart, about Smith-Milbert, and about DeAndre.
Yeah, with all the D-line transfers, I feel like everybody who came in with those players, they all collectively, we all came together pretty good. And, everybody got their own skill set and their own strengths and weaknesses. And we all just combined together to make a great D-line when it's time. And just taking it day by day and just learning other people and what they do best and learning what you do best and bringing it all together to make it work as one D-line.
Michael Cohen, WCHL, Chabro.com. Good to meet you, Leroy. First off, have you gotten any snaps on special teams at all? Done any work with special teams during fall camp so far?
Not really.
All right, so let's check in. Coach Cabrera, a lot of players have talked about just how brutal his conditioning drills have been during the summer. How have you experienced those? Gio mentioned that they were really helpful with team chemistry. How have you noticed that sort of helping you guys bond, just something to get through during the summer?
Yeah, it most definitely helped team chemistry when you see everybody's working hard. You see the other players beside you, which is your brother, working hard also. And yeah, them conditionings, everything we do with Moses has been brutal. But it's just good to see your brother also working and also putting in the same work as you to try to make this team better and better day by day and day.
Hey Leroy, Grant Sashray of Tar Heels on that side. What kind of role are you hoping to carve out this season, and what do you feel you bring to this defensive line?
I think I'll bring a great physical and leader mindset and just keeping the D-line focused. We all got to stay focused through this time and just taking it day by day and actually improving and staying at that level of competition during practice, during games, and it will make the games easier. So just bringing everybody together with the new transfers and some people who stayed, who was here last year, and just putting everything together and putting all the pieces together for it can make it work and we can become a one D-line.
Adam Smith, Inside Carolina, Leroy Haywood. What would be your expectations for this defensive line group. There are people that look at it from the outside as maybe the biggest question mark on the team because you have so many new faces, because you lost so many guys from last season. Like, what are your expectations for how you guys can perform?
My expectations is to compete on how we compete, not to worry about what everybody else think, and just do what we do every day. And with that being, with having a good offense, what you can compete against, and they bring different skill sets that can help you prepare for the games. And just competing every day really is the main thing, and not really worried about anything what's going on outside, and just keeping a level head to be able to compete every day.
Right back to the field observer. Leroy, what were some of those things Moses Cabrera put you guys through this offseason as far as some things that stuck out that were what you described as brutal?
I say first day, the runs was crazy. Never seen no runs like that. It was dangerous, I'm gonna say that. But as we kept doing it from January to now, it kept getting better and better, but it also kept getting harder and harder. It kept raising the level. And with Moses, his love is for everybody. When he put us through those things, we getting put through it, but we also know that Moses loves us and he's doing it for a reason, and he's been doing it for a long time. So we just gotta buy into the process and keep stacking days.
With the running, is it just gassers, sprints, or is there like a drill involved, or what?
It's drills, gassers, sprints. He mixes up, and he also makes sure it's related to your position. He's not going to tell a D lineman to do something a DB would do. So he makes sure it is football related, but he makes sure it's get to the right thing and do what is needed done for it can prepare us for the first game.
Brian here.
You're being coached by both Steve Belichick and Bill Belichick. I wonder if you could talk about some of the differences between them, and then other times where you say, I know exactly where you got that from.
Yeah, it's definitely times with the jokes. You can definitely tell the differences, but they're also similar at the same time. And they're both great people, and it's kind of crazy that I have this opportunity, but I'm just taking it in day by day and just listening and getting wisdom from both of them, and having two different point of views of both Belichicks is great to hear, and just learning and getting wisdom from both of them is amazing.
Like a lot of jokes. Does Steve have jokes as well?
Yeah, Steve. I think Steve got more jokes, but it's interchangeable. But it's different. It's different because a lot of people think he's serious a lot, but he's very laid back and just enjoy the team and love the team as one.
And last question right here.
KT Maker, Inside Carolina. Leroy, I know you posted a video on Instagram of everything you've eaten today, and I know Will already talked about how this nutrition kind of team has changed and improved from last year. Have you noticed anything from your body type or conditioning that's kind of improved from last year to this year?
I definitely noticed a lot with being leaner, actually eating right, and taking the little things with my nutrition better to be able to better myself and be able to have a healthy season and to be able to play better on the field. And, with this nutrition, when they came in, it was great for all the players to be able to get the right things, what they needed, to be able to focus on the little things that you need to be able to eat right and practice right also, and practice hard, because with this new staff, it is a hard foundation. The standards is high, but we still got to take care of our bodies, and one of those things is nutrition. That's a big part of being healthy and staying on the field and doing what we can do as a person.
Chef Brian has made for you so far?
I'll say the oxtails. I'm from Georgia, so I love Southern food like pig feet and all that. So I definitely say the oxtails. It go down there a little bit.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Thanks. All right, we're going to go ahead and bring on your
Sir. Appreciate you. Yes, sir.
What has it been like working with Gio Lopez so far? What do you like about his game? And can you speak on the relationship you two have?
Yeah, we've developed a great relationship these past few months. Doing summer workouts together, hanging out in the locker room. It's been a fun time to get to know him. He's a great guy. He's a great player, and I've enjoyed, spending time with him.
Hey, Austin, Grant Sasher of Tar Heels on my side. How would you describe Coach Friend's coaching staff?
I think Coach Friend is an extremely smart coach. He just doesn't tell us where to block. He tells us how to do it and the best way to do it. And he goes into depth about the X's and O's and just tells us everything we need to know about the play, not just, block this guy, do this, but this is why we're running this play. So we get down to the schematics of what we have to do.
And what's something that Coach Friend has emphasized that's taking your game to the next level? And also, how is that message carried across the whole entire offensive line?
I think this year our message is just toughness that he's been giving us in the O-line room. Just showing up day in and day out, working. Because as the O-line goes, as the team goes, so I think that's been the big point of emphasis so far this fall camp.
There, Ashley with WRAL. The demand for tickets this season is super high. Already all of the tickets are sold out for all the home games. Have you had any conversations with friends or family having a tough time getting access to tickets?
No, but I would say, it's awesome that we're sold out this year. I think that's incredible. Appreciate the Carolina fans doing that. But no, I have not had any trouble with that.
Andrew Jones talking about 24/7. When you arrived last year, there was not a ton of returning experience in your room. Now there's a bunch of guys that came in and started elsewhere. What do you look at the competition like in that group? Is it just kind of 9 guys and more just kind of going full bore, and there's so much versatility that you guys have a lot of leader jockeying for? Take us in the climate of that room.
Yeah, I think competition brings out the best in all of us. I think the competition is going to make guys play harder, play smarter, play faster because they know that their job is not guaranteed. So I think, it's a good thing we have competition because it's going to bring the best out of that room and bring the best out of the team.
How much is your personal versatility kind of helping you with this? The fact that there's a lot of guys that maybe there might be a couple guys a little stronger in one area, so they need you to move.
I'm going to go wherever they tell me to play. It doesn't matter to me where I play. I just want to do what's best for the team.
Adam Smith, South Carolina, Austin. What would you say was your holy crap, Bill Belichick is going to be our coach moment? And how has it been since then? Like the realization that this is actually happening and now you're practicing with the guy.
I wouldn't say that there was that such of a moment. I think I was just very excited to play for one of the greatest coaches of all time. It was unbelievable that he was going to be my coach. And I was really excited. Yeah, I'll say I was really excited.
And that, just to follow up real quick, you were in the portal for a few days like that. Was that what pulled you out of the portal?
Yeah, it's to get to play for one of the greatest coaches of all time, and I did not want to let the opportunity slip away. So I think I would have been very wrong to not come back and play for Coach Belichick.
Yeah, Austin. Obviously, with this offensive line group, there's a few returning guys who started last year, and then a slew of other guys. Obviously, you mentioned the new coach, who's a friend as well. What's been the process of kind of getting some cohesion within that unit, and kind of, building chemistry, if you will, as an offensive line?
Yeah, I would say the summer workouts really bonded us close together. Coach Moses does a great job pushing us physically and mentally. So I think going through those hard times with the new guys and the returning guys really created us a good bond between us in that room.
What was it like adjusting to those, some of those enhanced workouts that Moses had to do?
Yeah, it was awesome. Everything that we do here is, to be like a pro, and Moses definitely took us to that next level of being like a pro when it came to conditioning and strength lifting. So I'd say it was definitely a great experience being with Moses this summer and past winter.
Austin, Michael Cohn, WCHL, ChallengerRow.com. The amount of new players coming in here is well known, it's 70 players. But on the O-line, sort of to build off Jeremiah's question, you do return 3 starters with you, Aiden, and Trey. How important is that chemistry that's already there from you guys when you're sort of integrating all the new transfers and freshmen that are coming in as well?
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing on that, I would just go back to how we're competing every day. No one's job is solidified. We still have a long time before we're to our first game, so we're worried about getting better every day and stacking days on top of each other.
Kate, maybe see like Austin, this is your last year of college football, right? Mm-hmm. How does that make you feel going into your final fall camp? And is camp 6 easier than camp 1 mentally, physically? Are you just kind of surviving?
I would definitely say camp 6 is definitely easier than camp 1, just maturing from being a freshman to a 6-year senior. That's the big difference between being an 18-year-old and being a 23-year-old. So I'd definitely say there's a big change there, just the maturity and, going about my business and, just doing all the little things right.
Excited to have one last year? How do you feel going into it?
I'm very excited. I think this being my 6th year, it's not just about this being my special year. I think it's going to be a really special year for the whole team. But, like I said, right now we're just focused on having a great fall camp and having great practices.
Last one for Brian.
I wonder, you got to see Max obviously be on the field there in Minnesota with that gruesome injury and now to be back on the field. What's that process been like? And you've probably gotten to see him through various stages of this.
Yeah, I think Mac's done a great job. It's actually quite inspiring watching him work and come in and work every single day and bust his butt. So I think that's been inspiring to us all as a team to watch him come in and day out and do what he's supposed to do and really carry himself and work hard.
When you see how much he's worked to get on the field, is that sort of push you a little bit extra and say, like, I know what that guy went through?
Yeah, I would say so. Just watching him day in and day out go in the training room, work, I'd say it's inspiring to all of us on this team.
Stuff. That's all we got time for, guys.
Thank y'all.
Thank you. Appreciate it.